Hello everybody and welcome back to Robert's Reviews. Today we are continuing the DCEU. Next week, remember, we are doing Your Honor, theoretically speaking, so long as the release schedule for the series is consistent. Next week, instead of a DCEU, we will have a Your Honor video. But today, that is not what we're talking about. Today, we are continuing the DCEU, and honestly, this might be the best edition, the best installation that I've seen so far out of the three movies, including Suicide Squad. And today, we're going to talk about Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad was created in 2016. I actually forgot to write down who wrote and directed it, so I apologize. If you're interested in that, go to IMDB and Google Suicide Squad, and it'll tell you who wrote and directed it. I'm dumb, so I forgot to write it down. I can't believe I forgot to write it down. But I would like to discuss Suicide Squad today because I found it quite intriguing. So for those of you who don't know what Suicide Squad is about, it follows Batman v Superman. We do see Batman in this for a brief moment. We do kind of reconcile with the fact that Superman has passed away from Batman v Superman, so that was interesting. But overall, I genuinely thought it was a good idea for a film. I think this movie was cool because we got to see the bad guys be the good guys, which is a DC thing to do. It's not like we can't see Marvel doing that. It's just not going to work. Because Marvel doesn't have the greatest villains, you know? Like, in general, I don't think that they have the best villains. My hair's like all sorts of crazy today. Whereas DC, I don't think they have very good heroes, but they have really good villains. And this was really fun for me because I got to see all these villains that I didn't know existed and have them play on screen. They were just totally playing. They were in jail, and this person was like, hey, we need to take care of this terrorist threat. We'd like it if you came in and killed him, and if you took care of the problem, we will take time off of your prison sentence, which was a very good idea and a very good deal. In terms of the plot of the story, the beginning was really fast, and like almost not in a good way, because there was like an hour of just exposition before we did anything. We introduced like 20 characters in like 3 minutes. There was even a brief cameo of Batman and the Flash, which I was like, why? Whoa, that we didn't need that. We had it, but we didn't need it. It was quite intense and quite an experience. The first hour of this film was like wicked fast. We met with all of the different heroes / villains we see in this film, and I don't know if we necessarily needed that. It might have been more fun if they had more of a trial period where we got to know them based on themselves instead of through talking about them as a voiceover. Not that I think it was necessarily bad. I did enjoy the voiceover part, and I enjoyed getting to know the characters. However, I don't know if that was the smartest thing to do. It might have been better to have them do something actively that we can watch. But I understand why we had the voiceover, and I'm not necessarily upset about it because I did kind of enjoy it. But I'm just saying there might have been a better idea there. But I'm not upset about it. I'm not as upset about it as the other movies. The second half of this movie sees our villain people kind of sort of teaming up with one of the FBI agent people. And they're trying to take down this crazy Enchantress lady who has a brother, apparently, who can, like, tear up town. So let's talk about the villain for a second, because I think it's important that we discuss the villain of the movie, not the villains of the movie, you know what I mean? So Enchantress is the villain of the movie, and she's a witch, she's super old, and she took over the body of an attractive woman. And essentially, whenever she says, Enchantress, she turns into the witch. And so the witch is trying to resurrect her brother, but her heart is in a different spot. So they can kill her heart and kill her in no problem. And what happens with this is she brings her brother back to life to like basically make this machine. Then her heart is separated. We don't really know how the heart got to her, but somehow, maybe a deleted scene, the heart gets to her and she has the heart and she puts the heart inside of her and she becomes Super Witch. And then we see our villain heroes, of their own free will, kill the person because they're nervous about it. And then the girl can go back to having her boyfriend whom they love. And I did not enjoy particularly Enchantress or her brother. I think her brother was cool. I think that was cool visuals. The visual effects of this film are really good, especially in comparison to Batman v Superman and Man of Steel. But I do think that having that as a plot device wasn't very good. They're like, oh, my brother's here. And it's like, okay, why? And then they kill him really quickly. And then Enchantress doesn't do anything. It was frustrating because I really enjoyed the previous villains of these movies, and this one just wasn't quite up to par, I think. But the villain heroes in the movie were really, really good in this film. So it's a lot of backtracking in this movie, but also some really good stuff. It's kind of insane how back and forth this movie can be. Let's talk about the acting, starting with Will Smith as Deadshot. So, first of all, this is the first time I've mentioned Will Smith in any of my reviews, which is actually insane. At some point down the future, maybe we'll do a Will Smith series. I wouldn't hate doing a Will Smith series. I think he's sometimes really good, sometimes really bad. Depends on the day for him. This, honestly, I've heard that some people really didn't like him in this. I actually really enjoyed him in this. I think Will Smith was really good in this film. Particularly as Deadshot, because Deadshot's, in my opinion, the main character of the film, where, he's got a child, and he's in prison. And his goal is to get out of prison so that he can be with his child and, teach his child, and stuff like that. Which gave him heart, because he's not just being bad for being the sake of being bad. He kind of is, but, we have an instinct to, care for him, because he cares about his child. So it was nice to see that balance, and I really enjoyed Will Smith in this. I hope we can see more Will Smith movies that are, we have that heartwarming thing. He did that weird thing recently where he was like, oh, I'm an action star. And it's like, no, you're not an action star. Even in this movie, he's not an action star. He shoots people, great. But, for the most part, his character is, a father, which is really cool to see, and I really enjoyed that dynamic between the good and the bad in Will Smith's character, Deadshot. Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. Whoa. First of all, perfect Harley Quinn. Wow. I like Harley Quinn in this. I did not think I was going to like Harley Quinn, because she doesn't really seem like my kind of character, but I did enjoy her in this. There's only one negative I had about it, which is that her accent's kind of back and forth. Sometimes she has it, sometimes she doesn't, which might be because of the fact that she maybe has a personality disorder. We don't know everything about Harley Quinn. I'm assuming we'll get more in Birds of Prey. But I liked Harley Quinn a lot in this. I liked her makeup style. I liked her hair. I think they really got her really well. And as one who doesn't read the comics for DC, I'm more of a Marvel fan, as all of you know. I did enjoy this portrayal of the character. Whether or not it was true to the comics, I don't know. But I really did enjoy Margot Robbie's character of Harley Quinn. Jared Leto as the Joker. Biggest mistake of the movie. This might have dropped it a whole letter grade for me. I hated the Joker in this. Especially because I had previously watched Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker, which, as those of you who watch my videos know, Joker is my favorite movie of all time. I really enjoyed it. And then I got to see this movie and I was so upset. Oh, it was so bad. It was so bad. The Joker was so bad in this film. And I don't necessarily think it was Jared Leto's fault. I think he would have been a good Joker if they had designed him well. First of all, his writing is kind of meh. His laugh isn't very good, and his lines don't really, scream Joker to me. Jared Leto just tried to kind of speak like the way that Heath Ledger did, and I didn't think it really worked for him. Like with Joaquin Phoenix, he talked like normally, and it was fine. And this was not fine, and did not enjoy it. The way they dressed him was really weird, like neon green hair. He's pale white, with metal teeth and green splats everywhere. Not a fan of the look, not a fan of the character. Did not enjoy the Joker here. Maybe this one's more like the comics, I don't know. I assume it's not, I hope it's not, because then the comics are probably pretty bad, because Jared Leto was not at all my favorite actor of this film by a long shot. Jay Hernandez as Diablo. Diablo just sets himself on fire occasionally. I didn't like his character as much as anyone else's, mainly because he decides not to use his powers a lot, which kind of just felt like a meh kind of thing to do. He's like, yeah, I'll come along and help out and then not do anything. Well, if it wasn't for Will Smith, he wouldn't have even shot fire in this entire movie. So I was really annoyed with that. But I think the design of the character is really well done, and I think the ending was really well done, and I kind of enjoyed it. We don't really know if he got it alive, do we? I just realized there might be another plot hole in this film, because he kind of gets blown up, but I thought he would probably be okay because, he is made of fire, so I thought maybe that'd be okay, but I don't know, and now that I think about it, I don't think I saw him walk away, so maybe RIP? Cara Delevingne as June or Enchantress. I already talked about Enchantress, but I didn't mention who played it. Now you know. I enjoyed the performance, I think, of it. I think that when she is Enchantress, the look isn't very good for me, and particularly where they have special effects like flying around her at all times, didn't need that. I'm not saying it was awful, I'm just saying that I didn't really think we needed it. But I think the performance itself was fine. I enjoy her in most movies. As you can see over there, kind of, I do have a Paper Towns poster because I enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed the book way better, but the movie was okay. And she was in that, and I think she did even better in that particularly. This movie, not her best movie, but not her worst. And Joel Kinnaman as Joel. Oh, they're both named Joel. Oh, I think it's Jay Kinnaman. No, it's Joel. It's Joel Kinnaman as Joel Flagg. Huh. Who knew? So this is that agent guy that like kind of teams up with them, and I actually think that this might have been the best performance of the movie, maybe over Will Smith. I really enjoyed his character, particularly because he is a good guy, because, you know, he works for the government and stuff. And then he kind of teams up with the bad guys and kind of relates with them on a personal level and is like, hey, man, I understand you're in a bad position here. I just want to help you. And I really enjoyed the character all the way throughout the film. And I think we should have used more of him, particularly in the beginning, to help us understand where we were going with the film and understand the character. That way we can kind of see how they can merge together more easily than they actually did. But that's a small negative, in my opinion. But that's going to do it for me today. I really enjoyed Suicide Squad. It's on HBO Max, in case you guys are interested. It is my favorite movie in the DCEU thus far, and I'm going to go ahead and give it a B. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please subscribe. Please consider subscribing at least. We're really growing. It's insane. I'm really happy with our 2021 progress thus far, and I'm really excited to see how far we go. Consider dropping in the comments down below a request for me, and I'll add it to these little sticky notes or whatever, and I'll review it on Fridays. So look forward to that stuff. Coming this week, we have The Departed, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Minions, and The Queen's Gambit. So make sure you guys are tuned in for that. And as always, keep watching movies and television, stay educated, and I'll see you guys in the next video.